I think Sharice doesn't understand. Like, she seems to run with this narrative, like, I want Cannon, and I want her to know, and I'm trying not to get emotional, but when Cannon, like, I was thanking God when Cannon met her. Like, I wanted to get out so bad that Sharice saved my life. I'm so happy when he found somebody else to torture.
You're now watching Compton Rick Rock TV. Let's get to the content.
Yo, what up? It's Compton Rick Rock, Compton Rick Rock TV, and we back with the content. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that notification bell and catch every video when we drop them. Now, we got Luce Cannon first wife, Gigi. I had the opportunity to talk with her yesterday on the phone call, and everything that we spoke on is basically the same thing that she's saying in this video, and this is going to be one of the most intense reaction videos that I've done. This one right here, this is some nasty work. We all seen the video on I believe Street TV with the altercation with her and Luce Cannon when they was in the house with the tussling. Man, she finally made her YouTube channel, and when I tell y'all that she's about to take over the algorithm with this, you guys got to see it. So with no more talking for me, let's get straight to the content. This is Gigi.
And making comments like on the video. So first thing I want to make very clear is that I was not exempt to Luce Cannon's scam. Like, as I stated before, everybody has a part in his game. Like, no one is exempt. Like, I wasn't exempt. No, my daughter wasn't exempt. Nobody. Like, everybody gets played in the end. It's inevitable when messing with Luce Cannon. So I want to make that very, very clear. In no way, shape, or form am I saying I was special. I think by now we know that Cannon doesn't care about anybody but himself. Not kids, not wives, not girlfriends, baby mamas, not friends, not family, not twin brothers, nobody. Like, he's literally all for self, right? I think we can all figure that out by now. So I wanted to make it very clear that in no way, shape, or form, I mean, we all got played, period. Just like he's playing the internet, playing literally everybody out there right now into, not everybody, but let's just say a lot of people into believing he's somebody that he's not. It's the same way we all got played at some point in time dealing with Luce Cannon, which, like, Demon Time even said, you know, he fell for the scam and the plays too. And I think everybody does. Like, it's kind of hard not to. Just look how much nobody knew who he was. He like popped out of the blue, right? Out of the woodworks. This guy fell from the sky, comes on no jumper, starts making these outlandish accusations and these wild stories, and people are believing him, right? So I think it's, you know, you could say that he's believable. Like, he can manipulate and make people believe whatever narrative he wants. I mean, I think he just literally said, like, I think somebody was telling me, he said he just got in a fight with Beause. He just said that he's going to have Little Dirk on his pot. I mean, all this crazy stuff. Like, it's still going. Mind you, he's in prison. This man is behind bars fighting 20 years per charge maximum, right? That's the maximum penalty for that's just for one case. That's just for the RICO. 20 years maximum per charge. He has 2 charges. And he's still going. So that should tell you all you need to know right there.
Yeah, we all seen the videos with him and his girlfriend or his wife, or I don't know what their title is, but he says his wife, she said that's her husband. They have some crazy content going. They've been running this content for quite some time with him behind bars. So yeah, we all see that he's I guess he's following his dreams, chasing his dreams. He's not stopping. He's not letting jail stop him. Some people get bit by this internet bug, and once they get bit by the internet bug, it's over with. You gone. So that's what we seeing, man. Him and Sharice, they doing the phone calls, the content from the jailhouse. It seems like to me they not letting nothing stopping them. What you guys think about that? We done spoke about that numerous of times. Let me get y'all input in the comment section.
There. That he clearly doesn't care about his freedom. He doesn't care about, like I said, anybody but himself and what his end goal is. And ultimately, I'm assuming, just my assumption, because he's been doing this for so long, is his end goal is to be the most talked about person ever. Just delusional. Yes, thank you, bro. Delusional. But like I said, so I want to recap kind of what we talked about earlier, the wedding scam. So I want to make sure that everybody understands like the scam. So Cannon, when you are dealing with Cannon, he's dealing with you for a purpose, for a reason. Rather it's because you have resources, rather it's because you have connections, rather it's because you have money. It could be for multiple different reasons. And all he's going to do is drain you of those resources. I know there was other questions. I'm answering some things I'm going to answer because I've seen just some questions I've seen on my own that I know a lot of people are wondering. So another question was, what made you fall for him? What made me marry him or fall for him? And I think the best answer is that is the same way he made everybody else fall for him to believe he's somebody that he's not when nobody knew him from a can of paint. So if you can imagine what he's doing to the internet, what he's doing to somebody who he's trying to conquer, you can imagine it was to the 10th power. So I fell in love with somebody that he pretended to be, right? So that's that. Another thing I wanted to address is, I think that there was a question, something about like, how do you feel that Sharice says that he only has one child? I want to make it very clear that it doesn't bother me. My daughter, when I left Canada, she was only 6 months old. So she is not going to remember him in any way, shape, or form. The only thing that she will know about him is what she sees on the internet when she's old enough to ever be on the internet. That's the only thing she's going to see, which brings me to the reason why I feel like it is imperative for me to clear up all the lies, the false stories, or anything, especially revolving my child. I don't know about any other mother, your grandmother, whatever. That's cool. If you don't think it's cool, or you want to turn the other cheek, whatever you want to do.
So after speaking with Gigi, she had no intentions on coming on the internet speaking about this at all. She was gonna let this just all fade away. She got away from the situation with him and her, but she said that her daughter kept getting brought up in this conversation, that it was conversation about her daughter that was in a negative light. And she said, you know what, because of that, I'm on a mission with no permission, and that's to do damage on this internet concerning her husband. I believe that she's still married to LUCE Cannon. So that's her mission, y'all.
But this is my child, and I want her to know, if she ever sees this on the internet, if anybody in school ever brings it up, or whatever the case may be, a family member, anything, I want her to know that her mother was her biggest supporter, that I was her biggest advocate, that I stood up for her when, her name was being brought up. I'm going to answer the question. I haven't really heard him speak on you, Gigi. Do you really want to see him locked up and away from his kids? If you say he's dead beat, then the losing the opportunity to build a relationship. Okay, good question. So I know you probably haven't heard him speak about me, but there's multiple interviews he spoke about me. Sharice constantly speaks about me and my child. Like I said, it's public. It's all over the place. It's not like I'm just delusional. It's been going on for a long time. I understand a lot of people,
yeah, that is a good question. By you having kid with loose cannon, even though that he, you know, he's negative and he's a liar and he's all this that you say he is, that's still the father of your child. So I want to know this in the comment section. What do y'all think? If this was your baby mother or your baby father, would you guys want to see that person locked up for a long time? And what you saying on internet can definitely get them probably more, let's just say the feds on your channel looking at what you saying and use some of this that they might not know that probably could put him away more than 20 years that you say he's facing. What do you guys think in the comment section about that? Do you guys think it's cool to put your baby father, a baby mother away with these allegations that you putting out on the internet? We're going to keep this straight down the middle. I want to know you guys' thoughts, because of my thoughts, I will have a whole lot to say about it, but I'm going to let you guys in the comment section talk about that. Let me know what's going on, and everybody else as well. Let's get it.
I said, you can't watch every interview, can't see everything, but you have to understand, like I said, there's a lot of things that you guys don't see that, you know, I'm not just coming out of the woodworks and just saying, haha, like, you know, I just want to expose him. That's not the case here. He has spoke on me on Clubhouse with Wack 100. That's kind of where it all started. The original narrative was, and I like I said, if you guys subscribe, I'm going to share all this with you so you guys can understand why I am where I am today, why I'm over the bullying, the harassment, the lying, that type of stuff. Like, it's just come to a point where Cannon and Sharice have bullied the internet enough with lies, false stories on other people, and everybody just runs with their narrative, and they have never provided one shred of receipt, proof, evidence, or anything. Yet I see that people attack anybody else who speaks out against them. I don't care what anybody says. Like I said, when you come to my channel, anything that I say, I'm going to show proof and receipts. So it's not like you have to take my word for it. I'm not here to have a he said, she said. It is strictly just facts, point blank facts, period. So let's go over to answer Toxic Media's question. The original narrative of how this started was Cannon Sharice went on Clubhouse with Wack 100. Cannon's exact words were, he did not know who I was, that I was a jump off, and that the child that we conceived through IVF, my daughter, Legacy Williams, is not his child. So as you can imagine, as a mother, okay, the man who brought this child into the world with you is now going on a public platform with Wack 100, might I add. Okay, that's somebody that, you know, has a big platform where millions of people are going to hear and see this father saying this about his child, all because he wants.
Okay, so now I get it. That definitely would make a woman say, you know what, I don't care how much time you get in jail, you denying my daughter, our daughter, and going on a public platform speaking ill about your daughter. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go on a mission to make sure that you get as much time as possible, because the videos that she put out, this is probably the second one that I've seen, and it's definitely going to do damage if the DA get a hold to it. And like I say, everybody's going to do reaction to these videos. It's on the internet. So at this point, it don't matter who do they reaction to it. It's already out there, and she's on the mission to make sure that these videos land in the right hand.
To be famous. Okay. So that's where it first started. Then it went on from there. Then it went on to Tasha K. And you can go look these up as well. Like I said, I'll post them as well. But Tasha K, they went on that interview as well and said the exact same thing. So again, here we go back to your question. Just because you haven't heard it yourself does not mean it's not being said. There's a million people who have heard it. It's been all over. Street TV, you can go to him, Alex Alonso. He has done tons of pieces on a lot of his interviews of him saying, you know, all that stuff. So like I said, that's a really good platform if you guys want to go look at anything right now to see the things that Cannon has said, done, the lies, the manipulation, all that. You guys are free to go watch Street TV. Go there. Great journalist, does a lot of fact checking, along with like evidence receipts. It's like I said, it's not just me saying it. It's proof. Next question. Are you divorced? No, we are not divorced. We are currently in a divorce. We are not divorced. No. So also, like I was saying, back to what I was saying about the whole situation, I think people have a misconception that, that I'm speaking out because I want to see him locked up away from his kids. That was the Toxic Media's question. Do I really want to see him locked away from his kids? Let me answer that question. Now, which kids are you talking about? Are you talking about the child that he has with Sharice that Sharice says is his only child? Or are you talking about his two older sons that he has claimed that are not his and put a gun to their head with Sharice, to his oldest son's head, a gun to his son's head? Are you talking about that son? And
Well, that answered your question. That answered the question right there. Do she want to see him locked up, saying that he pulled the gun on one of his child? Yeah, man. If that's facts, she making sure his ass do not get back on these streets. This is what happened when y'all mess over women, man. When you mess over women, they come for you, and you can't beat no woman. A woman, they emotional, and they coming, man. When they come with receipts. You ever notice when you get caught cheating or something like that, and your woman find out? They already when a woman asks you, is you messing around? She already know the answer. She done did her homework, full investigation, just like the feds. You are done. This woman right here is on a mission.
And fought his own son? Or are you talking about the child, the daughter, which is mine, who he's never seen since she was 6 months old on 4, never paid a dime, never checked on her, never called looking for her, nothing like that? Are those the children that you're speaking about? Are those the children that you think that he's locked up and away from his kids? He's not with his kids. Or you're talking about the 2 sons that he has with the wife before me that he hasn't seen in 5 years, but thinks that Sharice thinks that sending the mother $200 for 2 children who are 12 and 11 here and there is doing something. Are those the children? You can't buy children, okay? Like you just can't.
So he been married. This is what, 3rd wife? This dude been a whole lot of relationships, man. Where's the first wife at? I guess this is the 2nd wife, and Sharice is the 3rd wife. Where's the first wife? We haven't heard from the first wife yet.
You can't throw money like 5 years. Are you serious? His sons with Nikki are old enough to look in the internet. They're old enough to read. Do you really think that they don't see everything their dad is doing? They don't hear and see the things Sharice says and things like, you don't think that they see that? They do. And so I think your question should be to Cannon and ask him, why is he doing the things that he's doing to be locked away from the children that he could possibly have a relationship with one day? I think that everybody is so quick to try to attack the ex or the person that he's not with because she's speaking out. And I noticed that with the internet, like whenever somebody speaks up or stands up for themselves and they're an ex, it's either she's bitter or you're upset because you're not with him anymore, or why don't you just move on, or you do this or you do that, or and it's just like, when I first came out and spoke, that was all I asked for, was a divorce. And he said he was never married to me. All I asked for was for him to sign over his rights. He said it wasn't his child. But now, now you guys are saying, or not you per se, I'm just saying, now I see, now that Sharice is admitting that, if they are married, who cares? Me and him aren't really married. A piece of paper means nothing. So why are you guys not asking her, why was she up on public platforms lying then? Why was he on public platforms lying? Why isn't he running to go get a divorce? Why isn't he running to, like, you guys are asking, like, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, it's crazy the questions that are being asked towards other people, when, like, why are you not asking Loose Cannon this question? Why are you not asking Sharice, as a mother that you are now, Why are you only saying he has one child when it's public record he has 6? That should be your question. Why are you comfortable as a woman sitting next to your man?
I think, well, let me say this. Part of lying in the internet, that goes together. People get on this internet, they lie for clicks and views, and they make up things. Maybe he was trying to, get some money so he could take care of all of his kids. We don't know. I don't know what his whole reason for being on here. If you say he's lying, everybody done caught him in a few lies, but it's going to be a little line with a little truth when people get on this internet, because they trying to paint this picture in this scenario that they this person on the internet, and it's all entertainment. So, I think a little lies and a little truth go together hand in hand with this internet.
Who has been proven a habitual liar. Why are you co-signing and condoning his behavior to be away from his children? Shouldn't you be asking her that question? Does she want him locked up and away from his kids? Because it seems like she's the one who's, I'm not with him. I'm not condoning him lying on and snitching and making. I didn't tell him to go on there and post that he robbed 50 Cent or Meek Mill or he wrote for Cardi B, but I didn't tell him to do that. So it seems like, a lot of your people's questions or concerns should be towards Cannon and his woman, the woman that's sitting next to him, the same woman that you guys see every day, every Sunday, literally recording a man's phone calls who is in prison on a RICO charge. He is literally in prison. Like, come on. Have you heard him once on any of those phone calls ask about any of these children that you're so worried about him not seeing anymore?
Ooh, she hit it right on the head with that one. Normally, when a person make a phone call from jail when they're incarcerated, the first thing they say is, "What's up with my kids? With my son and with my daughter? Put them on the phone. Let me talk to them." That's the first thing they do. And like she said, we haven't heard that yet. This is LUCE Cannon's first wife. She's coming out on YouTube, and she said that she has receipts to everything that's going on. Sharice Mills, Gigi, LUCE Cannon. We haven't met the first wife. She haven't jumped on the internet yet. Man, this stuff right here, man, this is nasty work. When you in all these relationships, you got these kids and you got these women, and you don't have a relationship with all the women. That's why when you mess with, you got kids by a woman, you get another woman, you get a relationship with everybody. Make sure that everybody is on the same court. You do not want any of them beefing with each other, because this is what's going to happen, man.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's natural for a child to want to connect with their parent at some point in their life. Would you rather see him locked up than free? Honestly, I feel like sometimes no parent is better than a toxic parent. So, a toxic parent can do more damage than not having one. So it depends. Just because you make a baby doesn't make you a parent. Let's just start there. Okay. There's child molesters who have children. Should we want them to not be locked up because the child wants to connect with the child molester? No, right? So that doesn't make sense. Cannon has mental issues. He is mentally unstable, and he is very toxic, and he is very abusive. I don't know what part you guys didn't hear about. He put a gun to his own son's head. Do you really think that I would allow a man who put a gun to his son's head with his girlfriend next to him, or any woman for that matter? Do you think I would allow him around my child? Like, just think about that. Like, come on, be serious. Like, that's not going to happen. And I'm not judging anybody else who's okay with that. Some people are okay with that, but not me. So for my child, no. Now,
Yeah, that's not cool at all, man. Pulling a gun on your kid. I don't think that's cool at all, man. Once you do that, you go to that level with some depth. You need anybody that's doing that need to get help, man. That's mental issues. You need to get help pulling a firearm on your kid. If that's true, all this stuff is alleged. I don't know. This is her truth. As far as on the internet, the only way we could do is just look at this and, have our own opinion about it. But man, this is her truth.
Do I believe that people can change? Do I believe Cannon can get the mental help that he needs to possibly change and be a good father one day? Yes. I'm not God, and I believe, through God anything's possible, but I believe that the person has to want to change. And as I said, clearly we can see that nothing's changing. He's literally in prison, and he is literally still doing the same thing with his girlfriend, aiding and abetting and co-signing still the same lies that landed him in prison, still telling his crimes and acting like he's doing this. He just said he got in a fight with Big U. Like, come on, it's a mental illness, man. Was he always slow? Yes. So Cannon has always spoke the way he speaks, but again, like I said, Cannon is an evil genius, which he clearly has. He has the gift of manipulation. He has the gift to make people believe anything he wants them to believe. Cannon can make you believe that he was Moses walking on water, and 9 out of the 10 people would probably believe it. The same reason why a lot of people still believe him till this day. Cannon can literally say that he built a nuclear bomb, and there's a group of people who are going to follow him and believe it. He's always been very good at that. Very, very good. Charisse was pushing those lies with Tremaine during all those interviews. No jumper, Capone news, drink with Jinx, etc. Exactly. So look in the comments. Street TV made a very good point. You put some of the links where you can go see his.
I remember when I first got a phone call from Loose Cannon. I think somebody connected us on the phone, and he was talking about him about to get a job at No Jumper. They wanted him on No Jumper, and he was, man, Rock, I could bring you with me, man. Me and you could take over, go on there and do our thing. This before me and him even got into the internet back and forth. And when he was telling me, I was like, man, I ain't really tripping, man. It is what it is, man. If you know, but he was making it sound so good and so believable. You would have thought it's just me. I really didn't care. I'm doing my own thing. I really didn't care about going on not just that show, any other show, because I'm doing my own thing. And shout out Street TV, Alex Alonso. You guys could go over there. She have interviews with him as well, where go more in depth. Alex Alonso asked all the right questions on there, so y'all could go check out his show. Man, check out all 8 shows, man. Go to check out all 8 channels, all these people channels, and y'all can put your own theory together. Y'all can go check out Sharice Mills' channel, check out GG channel, check out Street TV, and then y'all put all this stuff together and make sense of it all. Get everybody's side of the story.
Is him and Sharice's interviews, if you haven't seen them already. And I think that, like I said, you will understand why we are here at this point. Now, is Loose Cannon really a Rolling 60s Crip? No, he is not. Again, he was never put on. He was never a 60s Crip. His father was a Rolling 60s Crip, and he was basically, what's that called? Like guilty by association. So he was affiliated because of who his father was. He was affiliated, but he was never put on to Rolling 60s. No, he was not. He's slow smart. Yes, he's definitely, yes, that's the perfect. He's slow smart. He is very, very slow smart. He is an evil genius. It's the truth. Like I said, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you the truth. And no matter how, crazy it sounds, but Cannon is he's not book smart. He's just very street smart. He's an evil genius. That's the best way I can describe it. Like, if he wasn't so evil and if he wasn't doing the devil's work, Cannon would really be like a billionaire right now. He really has a weird.
That's what I told her when I had the phone call. I said, man, if he wasn't caught up in all the other stuff, this dude would be on top of the game, because he definitely know how to put himself in these circles, in these situations, to where he's moving up, because he knows how to talk and how to persuade you into believing everything that he's saying. I think if he wasn't so involved with the street cats and the street mentality, I think he would have went far, because he got talent. They say he's slow, but he's not slow. This dude is actually smart. He's not no dummy. You cannot get in these situations and be around some of the people that he's around being a dummy.
Manipulating like mind. He probably could have been a lawyer somewhere in some different life, if he was to choose his talents and use them in a different way. But like I said, I mean, just the power to, just the power to be able to paint any narrative you want, and to have a mass majority of people believe it. And these are adults. We're talking about adults who are, have common sense, and they're literally looking at this man that they've never seen before ever in life sit here and say that Shawnee O'Neal gave him $50,000 for sexual, like, come on, like, it's just, he's definitely gotten a lot crazier with the lies. I can say this: when I was with him, the lies weren't this grand. They were not this crazy and outlandish. He's definitely graduated to further it, I guess, a little quicker. The fake Cannon grew up in Fontana, far from Rolling 60s. Correct, he did. A lot of people accepted him because he was a scammer. A lot of fraud, a lot of plays that he put together. So, whenever you got somebody in the little clique that wants to be down and wants to be cool, and, maybe his family came from money, this is just an example. And you let him in on the crew, let him pretend like he's cool because, he's buying everybody ice cream and buying it. That's Cannon. Cannon was always, like I said, he's always got some type of plan, scam, scheme going, and he knows how to make money. That's just point blank period. He knows how to manipulate, lie, rob, take from anybody. And what's crazy, this is where the genius part comes in, is Cannon will make a lot of money and nobody will know that he's the mastermind the whole time, because Cannon will literally play himself. He will play to the person like he is just the middleman, or he's the bottom of the bottom, but not knowing that this person that he's claiming he's getting the work from, or he's getting this from, that person doesn't even exist. It's really him. I'm telling you, it's a crazy mind thing. He got that white collar. Yes, he definitely has that. Well, white collar hustle. He definitely, because of the way he talks, I think his slowness, I kind of think it helps him with also being a chameleon, so being able to talk to all different type of races, colors, creeds, to put himself in different rooms. That whole like saying fake it till you make it. He's very good at that. He can turn that gangster talk off, all that crip and cuz he can turn that off real quick. He can turn that white boy charm on real fast. Yes, he can. What does his family think about this? His mom, his siblings, they've came forward. His mom, she loves her son. She doesn't support the lies. I think that's why that's the whole reason why I shared with you guys the whole wedding scam. None of his family was at that wedding because, it was a fake wedding. None of his family are going to ever play a part, especially his mother, in ever, ever, ever disowning her grandchildren. She's never going to do that. She's never going to tell Cherie. She's never going to play along with any lie that she's ever told any woman or anything. No matter what, his mom is never going to play along with that. His twin brothers already came out and said that he lied, that they, about certain things, especially about our child, said that, that is his child. We went through IVF. Everybody knows. So his family does not support any of his lies. That not at all. What kind of relationship did you see LUCE have with his father? So his father's been in prison on death row since he was I think about 9. So I got with LUCE in 2018 to 2022. His relationship with his father was off and on. So he would talk to him in prison every now and then, but they didn't really have a super close relationship out of all those years that I was with him. Nikki, which is the wife before me, she has 2 children with LUCE, 2 boys. I would have to ask her how his relationship was with his father when she was with him.
I would love to see a show with all these wives together. LUCE, Cannon's wives, Nikki, Gigi, Sharice Mills. I would love to see a good podcast or something with all them together. Vlad TV, No Jumper. One of y'all, man, put that together, man.
I was with them for 10 years. I was with them for 5. Yeah, 5, 4. Do you think LUCE was cooperating with the police before? So it's not the first time that LUCE Cannon has got picked up by the feds or by police or whatever. Our houses have been raided before. The police have came before. So obviously they don't put us in the room together. So I cannot confirm or deny if he was cooperating at any point, because obviously when you're picked up, you're not put in the room together. We were put in separate rooms. I don't have a record. I never have been. I've never been a part of any of his scams or knew about any of his scams. I didn't find out about any of it until later. Obviously, you know, when you leave somebody, people who are part of the scams come forward, or people who get scammed come forward. And then that's when you start finding out, you know, the robberies were being set up in your house and all this stuff. You know, people feel sorry for you. And then, you know, after they watch you go through all the torture and the BS, you know, nobody says anything. And then once you leave, they're just like, oh, I'm so glad you got out, because, you know, all this was happening behind your back. Like, oh, geez.
One thing we can say about LUCE Cannon, he showed to go pick him some nice looking women. All of his women are nice looking. The man got good taste in picking women.
Thanks. But I can't confirm or deny if he was cooperating. I do not know. I do know LUCE has snitched multiple times. He is good at snitching. I can say that. I can only speak on personal experience from me and from his brother. I've been there when he snitched on his brother to the police and blamed crimes on him. The whole holding somebody hostage. I think there was a situation at him and Sharice's house where he claims that somebody called the police and said he was holding somebody hostage. He pulled that same scam where we were living in Corona, and then tried to say his brother was the one who called the police, and a SWAT showed up, said that had us surrounded with army tanks and everything, saying that somebody was being held hostage at our house. So that's not the first time he's pulled that type of scam. And then, so I don't know if you guys saw his detention hearing. He has 2 active warrants for domestic violence. So one warrant is for violation of the restraining order that I had against him in Loma Linda. And then the other one was in Riverside for our domestic violence. So those are the 2 active warrants that they're talking about in the indictment on his detention hearing, which is part of the reason why he's not getting bail. And prior to all of this, I'm just giving you guys a backstory of kind of how we've ended in here. LUCE Cannon and Sharice went, we lived in Riverside, California, on Kingdom Drive, Cannon and I. And Cannon was setting up robberies at that house. I guess there's investigation started. I didn't know at this time. After he had cheated with Black China, after that whole scandal thing was going on, Cannon and I want to make this very clear. Cannon and I were living in the same house together, but we were not sleeping together. I was sleeping in another room and he was in the master. I was in the room with the baby. He was in the other room. Of course, he wanted to work the marriage out. I did not, but at that point I had a C-section. I had just had the baby. I didn't have anywhere to go with the newborn. I didn't want to take his daughter from him. Obviously, this was before, the pulling the gun on his son. This was before the attacking me at the hospital with the baby. So this is, like I said, this is right after our daughter was born, which was November 3rd, 2021. I didn't want, to take her from her father. So I did tell him we could stay in the house together and raise the child, so she could be a part of his life. So I did it. I was back and forth between there, and I have an older daughter. She had an apartment kind of nearby. So I was back and forth between the 2 places. And I didn't know that Cannon was setting up robberies at the house where me and the baby were living with him. I didn't know that the robbery was being set up there. So a robbery was set up. It was all over the news. You can go on the news and look up a robbery at 7756 Kingdom Drive in Riverside. Police were under investigation for all the robberies that were happening at our house, and then I guess in the area. So Cannon and Sharice, after that robbery happened, one of his IBM homeboys, a girl he was messing with, was running some type of gambling ring or whatever. She would have people come and set up the gambling table and bring their money and play or whatever, right? So,
well, if the feds didn't know all this information, they gonna definitely get it off the internet. The internet will put you up under the jail cell. This is LUCE Cannon's second wife, and when I tell y'all that she is on a mission, this is what happened when you what they say, a woman scorn, man. When a woman is mad, see, a woman can't whip you physically. They can't whip you physically. So what's the next way for them to get you? And this is exactly how they get you. So men out there, learn from this, man. Learn from this whole situation, man. This is like I say, this whole situation is not going to be some content that's here and gone tomorrow. It just keeps on growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And everybody that you done something to, they all fit to come out with their stories, man. This is going to be something big in the future. Definitely more than likely going to be a movie. Mark my words and trust me on that.
Cannon and his little IBM homeboy set it up to where she could do it at our house. She brought her players. Cannon set up the security. Cannon, then him and the IBM homeboy flew out to Miami, and the security that they provided for the girl robbed everybody at gunpoint, took all their money, chains, watches, blah, 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 blah. A couple days later, somebody breaks into the house and trashes the house. Cannon and Sharice go to the police and blame me and say that I robbed the house. At this point, Black China was not mentioned to the police. It was just me. Once they made the report, I got a call from the investigator, and I was then brought into the robbery investigation, that I was a part of the robberies in the neighborhood. And so, of course, I had to go down to the station, clear my name, provide where I was, times, days, blah, 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 whatever. Once I cleared my name, showed that I had no parts in any of the robberies, where I was during the robberies, things like that, I was cleared of any implications into the robbery investigation. So Cannon is Cannon definitely will snitch on you really quick. When you go against him or you don't participate in anything that he does, or you out him for anything, God forbid, like you do this outing him, oh, he's going to turn it up. He's going to do any and everything to try to bring you down. Do you think LUCE, I already answered that. No disrespect intended, but does he have a mental health diagnosis? And if so, what it is? I do not. So I've talked to his mother. He's never been like diagnosed by an actual doctor. But I mean, everybody in his family, we all know that he has mental issues. As I said before, it was never this bad. Kennan's always been a liar. You know, you have like those friends who just lie because they're like maybe ashamed where they come from or who they are, or they want to be somebody they're not, whatever. Kennan's always lied about stuff like that, like what he did for a living, his age, where he's from, stuff like that. You just think like, oh, he's ashamed or whatever. But this level that he's on now is a whole new level that is just, we've never seen it, and nobody knows. We think maybe he just snapped. He's 42, maybe a midlife crisis. I don't know. Maybe whatever mental disorder he has gone haywire. Not sure. So not a medical diagnosis, no, but we definitely know he has some type of mental issues. Did you know about his friendship with Wack 100 when y'all was together? So again, like I said, I've been with Cannon since 2018. There was no Wack and Cannon friendship. Let's make that very clear. So how Wack and Cannon even got to start talking, which I'll drop those receipts to when I drop the series, was because of Molly Mall. So the whole Molly Mall situation, when me and Cannon started hanging out with Molly Mall and stuff like that, Cannon had bought some beats from Molly Mall or whatever. This was when Cannon was trying to do his rap thing. And this is right around the time where he started the whole IBM. So the whole IBM thing I started, it was not a gang or anything like that. Cannon, like I said, wanted to start doing his rap thing, came up with IBM, Integrity for Money. I paid for the logo, blah, blah, blah. Went to Molly Mall. He got some beats, paid Molly Mall for some beats. Cannon then set up Molly Mall. And the reason why Molly Mall was set up for that beating was because Molly Mall slid into my DMs and was talking to me in a way that Cannon didn't like. Molly Mall wasn't a sexual thing or anything like that. He was just saying that I was beautiful, blah, 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 something like that. Cannon didn't like it.
Shout out Molly Mall, man. He's the music producer, but you had no business in somebody's wife DM talking about they beautiful, man. What's wrong with you, man? You know that's out of line, out of pocket, man. You don't do that. That ain't cool, man. That ain't for nobody to do. If you get in another man's wife DM and tell her she's beautiful and you hitting on her, you got to expect whatever come after that.
A couple days later, Cannon set up Molly Mall, and that's what you saw in the beating. Cannon then posted it and was trying to make it go viral. After that, that's when Cannon got, because Wack 100 and Molly Mall are cool. So that's how that whole connection started. The friendship started from that point on with Wack and Cannon. Had nothing to do with anything else. He put his daughter's mother into robbery. Yeah, he did. If he never cheated with Black China, you think you would have been with him still? That's a good question. Mm, I don't know. I was pregnant when I found out about the Black China situation. I don't know. I really can't give you an honest answer. Like I said, I'm always going to be honest with you guys. So I really do not know. I was a different person when I was with Cannon. Um,
What do you guys think in the comment section about that? Somebody asks if he wouldn't have never cheated with Black China, would you guys still been together, or was it because the beatings? What caused the breakup? Made you guys separate? Because everybody want to know that. I didn't even think about that. If he wouldn't have got caught cheating with Black China, would these two still be together? What you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about that.
I'm trying to explain it. It's the craziest thing to explain to you guys. Like when you're with Cannon, he molds you into who he wants you to be. So you lose sight of who you are, if that makes sense. Before I met Cannon, I've always been independent on my own. I was never been in an abusive relationship before or anything like that. I haven't even been in that many relationships at my age because I had a daughter really young, my oldest, who is 24 now. And it was a girl. So, I was very cautious. I never lived with men. I never moved men in with me or anything like that. So, when I got with Cannon, it was a lot of control, a lot of playing on your weaknesses, playing on any trauma that you had in your childhood, any abandonment issues, things like that. It's kind of like you feel trapped. It's kind of like you can't leave. You don't know where to turn. Cannon turns people against you. So it's kind of like you really don't have anywhere to go. Cannon drains you all of any independence you had when you got with him. As you can see probably from their channel or, stuff that I'll show too as well. He's very big on, what's it called? Gaslighting. He's very big on grandiosity. So he does things that most men won't do. Running your bath water, cooking for you in the middle, no matter what time it is, catering to you, constantly, like just showering you with affection, love, words of affirmation.
So that's how he does it. That's how he gets all these fine women. Because I was wondering, how does he do it? You got to rub their feet, fellas. You got to shower them with gifts. You got to go in there and run their bath water, cook their food, everything that GG is saying that he did. That's how you get to find woman.
Just everything. It's almost like a fairy tale type of thing, if that makes sense. Once he does that, like it's so intense in the beginning, he gets you to a point where it's like, oh my God, like where did you come from type of thing, right? Once that happens, then like I said, it slowly starts stripping you of, any independence. So if you're working, I don't want you to work. I just want you to, take care of the household, this or that. Then it starts slowly and surely, like, every time you're with your friends, he's there. Every time he's with his friends, he wants you to come. It's like, before you know it, your lives become one. And then before you know it, your friends are now his friends more than they're your friends. Anytime you guys get in a fight, anytime anything happens, you notice like just things start shifting. Then you start realizing that Cannon's lying to your friends, making up things that didn't happen, telling your friend, like it's the craziest thing ever. Like I said, I'd have to show you guys some visuals so you guys can kind of understand. But his manipulation game is so crazy that when you're with him, you're kind of trapped. So once you're out, it's a freedom that I could never explain. It is like, it's like being resurrected. When you're with Ken, he gets you to a point where you're like dead inside and you're literally just living. You're just like going with every day. Like your world is turned upside down. Like it's insane. Like all the stuff Charisse is encounters, so like that. I don't, like I said, I don't know her. I don't know. I just go by what I see. See, I'm not the type of woman. I would never sit there and lie with my man, or even if he's lying and making up false stories and other people for fame. I've never been like that. That's just not me. So all of this, like what was happening behind closed doors at that time, all the drama and the stuff that he was creating was overwhelming for me, because I don't like that type of stuff. I don't like drama. I don't like violence. I'm not into all that. So again, for me, it was living in hell. So honestly, when China thing happened, it was very emotional because I was pregnant, but it was kind of like I used to pray every night that God would either take me or bring somebody to be with him so he could leave me alone. It's not like I haven't tried to leave Cannon multiple times. I would get beat trying to leave. The last time I stopped trying to leave was after I had the baby, when he took the baby from me.
You could best believe this video right here. I think she got a few of them. These are going to be in court. They going to play these in court. I guess these guys, not Charisse, LUCE Cannon and Gigi have a court date. He had a warrant for everything that she's saying. So you could best believe that this stuff will be played in court, man. He's looking at some time, man. And with these videos and things like this, if it's proof that this actually happened between these two, police reports, so forth, man, he's looking at a lot of time, man.
And said I'd never see her again if I left. So that was the last time I stopped trying to leave. So after that, I didn't try to leave anymore. Because all the other times, like I said, I did. I tried going to family members' house, and then he would call over there, and then they would cave in and tell him where I was. So like I said, it was, he has people, everybody around you manipulated into thinking he's this God. The same reason why people are, saying like, what you think? Do you want him to be locked up? Do you want him to be like, your family's doing the same thing when you're telling him, look at the black eyes, look at this. It's like, well, he treats you so good and all that and this and that. It's like, it's okay that he busted your lip or blacked your eye. Yeah. So like I said, it's not an easy thing to just leave, as much as people think it is, when you're with a person like him. I honestly didn't know him until he got an interview with No Jumper. Yeah, nobody knew him until he got in to the interview with No Jumper. Nobody did. You laughed more. He called you sweetheart every night. What? Was he friendly with Big U? Those scenarios LUCE talked about, including Big U, are they true? So yes, him and Big U were friendly. Let's just talk about that. They were friendly. I was, like I said, with Cannon since 2018 to 2022. I can tell you Big U came over to our house maybe like 3 or 4 times in all that time. Big U messed with Cannon to a certain degree. It's not like they were best friends hanging out all day. Like we were going over to his house, hanging out and stuff like that. Like we went to a couple of events together. He's been to our house like maybe a handful of times, but it wasn't anything like we're like this whole enforcer thing and for him and stuff is not true. Cannon has done a lot of violence, a lot of things. Big U was not even around like at all. Cannon loved using Big U's name in a lot of stuff that he did, a lot of stuff that he got away from. He did use Big U's name a lot though. So, but Big U was never.
A lot of guys on the internet use that name. That name is in the algorithm right now, thanks to LUCE Cannon and other participants in using Big U name has made it viral. So yeah, man, a lot of people use his name in this content space, especially right now.
Involved in the situations, when the stuff happened at the house, like when he pulled a gun on somebody or did this or did that. Big U was never there. Big U, like I said, maybe came a handful of times. No funny business. You're describing my parent 100%. I'm so happy for you. I don't get how people call someone slow can manipulate so many people. I don't know. I really don't know. And that's why I said never underestimate just because the way he talks or, the way he looks. like I said, he's entertaining the same way he has you guys entertained, the same way you guys are laughing. You think it's funny, you think it's cool. Even Sharice, you know, she's doing this Sunday service and talking about God and this, and I don't understand how you can even talk about God when you're doing the devil's work. I don't understand how you can, you know, sit there and act like his other children. And I'm not talking about my child. I'm talking about the 5. Like I said, my child has nothing to do with nothing. But I'm talking about the children that he has that can read, that can go on the internet, and how she thinks it's okay as a mother to dismiss them like they're not shit. Just as a woman, I think is nasty and is disgusting. And I don't know how people can even think that that's okay. I don't know why people are not asking questions about, you know, why they think that that's okay. I really don't, but whatever. Let's see what else. Them be the ones. What do you think it'll take for him to finally sign? So Kenan was never going to sign the divorce papers. I also want to make this very clear. I know people are wondering, like, why don't you just get a divorce? Why don't you just move on? And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this one time. I'll like I said, I'll show, but as I explained to you, being with Kenan is not something you can just sign over and he's going to let you go. If you think, because you guys don't see it, and Sharice thinks in her mind that Kenan has not tortured me behind closed doors, he has. Kenan still contacted me after he was with Sharice. It's not like it stopped. It's not like the manipulation stopped. It's not like he met Sharice and was like, oh, goodbye, and I was free. It's never going to be that way. Kenan is not going to let you go that easy. He's going to make sure you suffer. He's going to make sure you are tortured because you left. It's not that easy. It's not just a sign over the divorce paper and he's just going to let me go like that. That doesn't work that way. We have a child together, and I've already told you, I fear for my child's safety. Kenan has done a lot of things to children behind closed doors. And I will never want my child to be around somebody like that unless they get the proper help that they need. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody thinks about me or whatever, but she's my daughter, and I will do everything in my power, including give my life to protect her. And if I have to stay married to Kenan for 100 years until he agrees to the deal that I want with our daughter, then that's just what it's going to be. So it's either my way or no way. I'm not pressed for the divorce. We can't just get a divorce like that. We have a child together. The child is involved in the divorce proceedings. So we had court in January of 2024. He didn't show up to the court date. Then we had another court date in March. Obviously, he got picked up or whatever, or was going through this. So, I mean, we haven't proceeded with anything of that. But just for those who are wondering why I have not finalized the divorce, again, anybody who has been through a divorce and has children, you know that you have to take care of the issues with the children. It's not like I can, stop him from contesting anything or fighting me for our daughter, which he has tried behind my back. There's a lot of things you guys don't see that he does. So him and Sharice I don't even know if she's aware that he tried to get a lawyer to do this, whatever, with my daughter, but he did. He tried to say he served me, didn't serve me. He tried to get this high-powered attorney, a father's rights attorney for the daughter that you guys remember he's saying that's not his. Yeah, so try to go behind my back, try to get a father's rights attorney, called CPS. Like, he's done a lot of things to try to get the baby. So like I said, I know you guys don't understand or see why she's not moving on, because Kenan's not the type of person that you can just move on from. Because again, like I said, he's going to make you pay for trying to move on. That's just how he is. So that's that. So it's not the divorce that I can't get. I'm glad you asked that question, Tyson. So I want you guys to understand it's not about the divorce. I could sign the divorce papers and we can be divorced tomorrow. The only thing is
you guys can go over to Gigi page. Let me bring her page up, and you guys go check out the rest of this. So this is her page right here. I'm her Gigi. Oh, that's the name of her page, at I'm her Gigi. So y'all go over there and check her out, man. I don't think this is going to end well. I think all of them need to come together and say, you know what, we all got some type of dealing with loose cannon, but maybe we can make this make sense and do it for our kids, man. Let's get this money together and do it for our kids, man. These are all beautiful women. Like I said, we haven't seen the first wife, Nikki. She haven't came out with her story yet. But leave you guys thoughts in the comment section. Tell me what y'all think about this. It was interesting. I never even did a reaction this long before. I think, you know, she had me intrigued with not just this one, the other one, because this is, you know, this is these people's life and they bringing it to the internet for everybody to see what's going on. Man, this is definitely, man, it's just one of them ones. Compton Rick Rock with Compton Rick Rock TV. Catch all y'all on the next one. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Compton Rick Rock TV. Also, hit that notification bell and catch every video when I drop.